And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. I tell you, when Njiru shows up, you know he has an issue. And tonight's issue is this nation in a moral dilemma? Tweets coming in very thick and very fast because people are passionate about Kenya. It's all about country first, everything else second. Let's read a couple of tweets. CK Mwaniki, you say, true leadership is lifting the moral quotient of the people. That's right. And Sivencia, you say, we tell our kids not to go and steal, yet we go out and steal. A good one from Ken. Corruption evolves amongst us. Tony Billionaire, you say, we are all moral agents and we must start at home. That's right. Eva Tamar, you echo that. You say, by the end of the day, we are all moral agents. Stop pointing fingers. I like that. By the way, our tweets today, powered by LG Signature OLED 4K. Sweet. Right. Keep tweeting, folks. Lawrence, you're going. You say, a poor man is not the one who doesn't have money in the pocket. A poor man is the one whose spirit has been impoverished. Ken Njiru's words. Let's keep talking, folks. Keep tweeting at Uungwana Kenya, at Koinange Jeff, hashtag moral dilemma. I was talking about Hitler.
Yeah.
The book, Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
Banned for decades. By the way, there's a play. I saw it downtown in Vienna.
Yeah.
There's a play by a character who's supposed to be Hitler talking about Mein Kampf, his struggle.
Yep.
In this 2016, Ken, I mean, what is the world coming to?
You know, when again the quotient of moral leadership collapses, you have a problem. And by the way, it seems like it's cyclical. I mean, that's what happened. That's what led to World War I. That's what led to World War II.
Yep. And World War I was supposed to end all wars, right?
Yes, it was supposed to end all wars. Then after World War I, they formed the League of Nations, which became the United Nations.
And they had another war.
Yeah, to cool things down. No, after
World War II.
The World War II, that's when they formed the UN. Yeah? But what you then see are flashes of that nonsense everywhere. And coming back to Hitler, Hitler now starts looking like
a saint,
a good guy.
Can you imagine?
A good guy.
And Can you imagine?
And that's about what Trump is doing in America.
Yes.
Telling Kenyans, get out.
Yeah.
Muslims. I will build a wall. In fact, they are chanting, build the wall. Build the wall, build the wall. So that Mexicans can stay out. But then again, Jeff, the question is, do you think we're building walls in this country? Sometimes you don't even have to build physical walls.
Yeah.
You've been to America.
Yes.
In America, you don't even have walls around your house. It's the green in your house.
Correct.
Here we have to keep building walls around our houses.
To look like prisons.
What are we doing? And those are the moral. I keep saying philosophy precedes performance. Meaning that when we don't have a philosophy of what life means, of what it means to be a human, of how we organize ourselves, then any nonsense that is thrown at us, we embrace. When the colonialist came, he had to protect himself from natives. So he built walls.
Yeah.
When the colonialists left, we jumped into his houses and continued building walls.
Taller walls.
Taller walls.
Yes.
And when these guys get annoyed, they come and remove the rock, the stone, and enter and fix you for building the walls around the house.
That's right.
One of the leaders that really impresses me is a man called Mahatma Gandhi. Just watching his movies, I remember, the beginning of the movie where you see the whole world has converged to bury him. And the commentator saying, here lies a little man. He was not the head of any army. He was not the head of any known corporate. He was not the head of any country. And yet the whole world has converged to bury him. And by the way, he goes on to say that he actually changed India with just the power that radiated from his integrity. And Gandhi would tell 300 million Indians to stop, and they stop. He didn't have to give them money. Let's go. Politicians, by the way, and they mount these big rallies.
Yes.
You literally have to give people money to come.
It's rent a crowd.
Gandhi would call them and they would come. In fact, I keep on, whenever I talk to leaders, I tell them, if you want to know what chapter 6 on leadership and integrity means, watch the life of Gandhi. Then you'll understand the power of integrity. And when we talk about integrity, we're talking about humility. We are talking about courage And we're talking about congruence. What you think, what you say, and what you do must be one. But we have so much duplicity in this country. Hypocrisy and sophistry are the things that run this country. In fact, the more you're a hypocrite, the more you're a sophist, the more you're a bigot, then the more we keep electing you to parliament.
Imagine that.
Total nonsense. And by the way, I want to say this. The politicians of themselves are not bad people. They are you and me. All that they do is take our level. Because, by the way, Jeff, if today where do you come from, Kemba?
Yeah, Kemba.
If you say if it's a constituency and you say you want to go and run there, the people start telling you, mkono mtupu haulambwi.
Haulambwi.
And so you have to get money to pay them. In fact, even if you go and steal and come and buy them alcohol, they are okay.
They're happy.
And so, it is that, this is what I'm calling the moral dilemma. And it starts from our homes. Today, the question of single mothers has skyrocketed. Why? Because we men will not take our responsibilities. You go playing around, you get a baby, you take off.
Yes.
You know, Zamani Wazez would call you and tell you, this is your business. Today, there are no Wazez. Even the Wazez are doing the same thing as the young people are doing.
Yeah.
That moral order.
We've lost it.
And we need, sometimes I think what we call Senate should have been an upper house of elders, who then give us moral guidance and hold the ways of our people, the ways of who we are. And by the way, the reason Japan is Japan, China is China, even the UK is the UK, is because their customs and cultures are in place. Tena wahenga wakasema, mkosa mila ni mtumwa. Meaning that when your cultures are dissipated, you're finished. Another lady another lady once said, I forget her name, that when mores are sufficient, laws are unnecessary. When mores are sufficient, when mores are sufficient, laws are necessary. When mores are insufficient, laws are basically, you cannot even implement the laws.
Yes.
Meaning that when your culture and your way of life is solid and you know who you are and you stick to them, you don't even need laws because we are self-governing. But when a culture is rotten, by the way, we'll soon clog the police, the cells with corrupt people because everybody is corrupt.
It's corrupt.
In fact, you're wondering who's not corrupt. All right? So that question of culture, and I said, China basically drove a cultural revolution. It was bloody. We don't have to make it bloody. We lift our spiritual quotient. If you look at South Korea today, by the way, it was a cultural revolution. Yeah. I have seen a photo of he was called President Park Chung-hee, in a rice field, amekunja his trousers until here. Let me tell you, when a president goes into a rice field and does that, people follow.
By the way, that's the father of the present president.
Yes,
you know that?
Yes.
He was president at independence.
Yes, he was the one who was being charged with corruption.
Correct.
Yes.
By the way, Kenya and South Korea, 1966?
Same place.
On par.
Same place.
On par.
Yeah.
You go to Seoul today?
Yeah. It's cosmopolitan. I mean, the other ones, this phone of yours, Samsung.
Yes.
It's from there.
It's them.
We have never even thought of how we can start even making the cover of this phone. Watch out the phone.
The cover.
45%. Hot Mukamba, Muhuya, Mukisi. Nonsense.
Yeah.
Utter nonsense.
Ushenzi.
I mean, can you imagine if every time our athletes went to run, you start saying, hey, there's no Somali.
Yeah.
There is no Kamba. We'll never win. We will never win. And what I am saying is this, Jeff. The only way there will be equity in this country is when this country becomes a land of opportunity. Not a land that secures a few jobs for a few people who go to earn for their wives. And then when the man is living in a palace and you're wearing torn slippers, you're saying mutu wetu. In fact, you're saying we are happy. We are happy. When you asked, what are you happy about? My man lives in a palace. Nonsense. You can't even feed your kids.
Total nonsense.
Total rubbish. You know, America is great because in America, if you're a singer, a musician as it were, you don't need mutu.
No.
If you're an athlete playing basketball, you don't need mutuenu.
No.
If you're a person who can is in Silicon Valley making microchips, you don't need mutuenu. In fact, a lot of you've been there. A lot of the guys outside there don't even know some of their politicians. They don't even care.
No, at all.
They're not the star players. The star players out there are the producers.
Yes.
Here the star players
athletes
are people who are more often than not talking nonsense. We are talking about devolution in this country. much as we are hammering the government and talking about the corruption, this has been the most corrupt government, because that's what people are saying. Look at the devolved units of government across the board. Money has just disappeared.
Completely.
Yeah. Absorption rate, first of all, is a problem. Secondly, there are governors who started by buying mansions.
For themselves.
For themselves. Their governors are here, they bought houses in South Africa.
With their people's money.
With their people's money. There are people who can't account for millions of shillings. And we are still saying let's send 45% down.
And they're still demanding more money.
And they're
You're
still
right.
demanding more money.
Yes.
They must first account for what we have before we give more money.
Is there hope, Ken, at the end of the day? Is there hope?
No, there's a lot of hope.
Huh?
Oh, as long as the human being is alive and God is alive, and I know he is. In fact, he never dies. I shouldn't even say he's alive. As long as God has made us. You know, I want every Kenyan to understand that it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Wherever you are, even in your own home, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Let me tell you, Jeff, if you were to open up the human body, what you call your heart, your liver, your kidneys, amazing instruments. As you sit here, they are working, they are processing. It's a factory, by the way. You don't even have to tell it to move. Blood is flowing. I'm told, your capillaries, if they are connected end to end, they can go around the world 4 times.
Goodness.
Fearfully and wonderfully made. We are told, and this is by the Americans, that the average human brain can hold 25 million books. In fact, it can carry the whole Library of Congress, as is it called.
But nobody reads.
But nobody reads. We are told, again, if I may go spiritual a bit, or refer to my religion, it says, have faith in God, for verily I say unto you, whosoever shall say unto that mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that what he saith shall come to pass, that mountain shall drop. We are told we can walk on water. It doesn't say white guys can walk on water,
no.
and black guys are this. In fact, there were some guys who used to say we are the sons of Ham.
Yes,
and that God forgot us.
I've heard that.
But I keep on saying, if we're the sons of Ham, then all the wealth, the gold and the diamond should have been taken wherever, Europe, wherever. But now it is, by the way, we are much, the wealth we have in Africa, if we shut it down, all the world's stock exchanges, whether it is platinum, gold, diamonds, will collapse.
They'll crash.
A few years ago, I think it was almost 15, 20 years ago, KTDA withdrew Kenya tea from the London auction and started selling the tea in the Mombasa auction. The London auction collapsed. It was surviving on KTDAs. Right? Jeff, you've traveled, you've gone to Starbucks.
Yes.
When I go to Starbucks and ask for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, which, by the way, I bought one the other day for €3. Regular coffee.
Yes.
Which is twice what we pay at Java.
You know, what we pay at Java, on the average, let's even call it 400 shillings a cup of coffee. What are we paying our farmers here? A kilo of coffee?
Oh, forget it.
28 shillings. Why are we doing that? Because instead of fanning ourselves to go out there and create a Starbucks. And what's a Starbucks? A Starbucks is making a cup of coffee.
That's it. That's it.
But it is a company that grosses $1 billion every year. And we have our own Starbucks across the world. But we won't do that. Wajaluo ni wangapi? Wakikuyu ni wangapi? Na Wasomali? Mumekula mara mingi.
Java ni ya nani?
Sijui nini. Nonsense. And by the way, the guys who are telling you mumekula mara mingi, they are living like kings. In fact, they come with motorcades. And if these motorcades are sold, they will sort out a good number of their followers' needs.
I prefer Java, by the way.
Who shends
Java
yes.
any day.
Any day.
Any day.
But who owns Java? It's not an African.
Oh, now you're asking the question.
It's not an African.
Si ni watu wetu?
Watu wetu kitu gani?
Ni nani?
It's a white guy.
No, it's not.
It is.
Not anymore.
It is whose?
Not anymore.
It is whose?
Java ni ya nani?
Niambie. Niambie. Hata kahawa hatuwezi tengeneza. Surely. Watch, I'm not talking about...
Mutie, call me, text me, man. Who owns Java?
Yeah, find out who owns Java.
No, he sold it, man.
No, find out. Even if he sold it, who started it?
It doesn't matter who started it.
No, it matters.
Today.
The point I'm making, Jeff, is this. We need to change the way we think. We need... And
paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift. And if we don't create these billion-dollar companies, we're going to kill each other here over silly jobs that don't make sense. Kambas, Kikuyus, Kisis, Somalis, nonsense. And let me tell you, again, from my faith, when you go to heaven, you'll be asked how many Kambas you got into positions or how many Kikuyus. did you use the gifting that God gave you? You remember the story of the talents?
Yes.
One guy akachimba shimo akaweka chini.
Yes. Huyo mwingine akapewa
Huyo mwingine akapewa 2 zikakuwa 4. Mwingine akapewa 5 zikakuwa 10. Sasa Waafrika wamechimba shimo.
Wameficha. Wanangojea warudi.
Na Mungu akija just like the servant atatuambia shenzi nyinyi. Shenzi.
Oh my. I can't even use the fire extinguisher now. This is ushenziness.
We are a great why I say we are a great people.
Yes.
It's because we are made great.
Yes.
Hata tukifanya ushenzi, there is greatness in us. That's how God has made us.
Absolutely.
But tuna ushenji, umanki, hopping around.
Ken, it's good to see you as always, man. Just closing thoughts.
Have you ever seen a gorilla doing hoo, 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 hoo?
Yes.
That's what we do. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
All day.
Everywhere, all day.
Closing thoughts.
I think we have, we've been saying that, we had a constitutional moment. I think the real moment is what I call a psycho-spiritual moment. And what I mean by a psycho-spiritual moment, and spiritual in the Uungwana sense, is the search and outcome for the ultimate meaning and purpose of your life. And when a culture is able to lift many people to a level where everybody's asking, what did God put me here to do? And they do it using the mind, then a nation becomes great. And I would like to believe, by the way, that we'll go down as a generation, because that for me is important, that not only knew what needed to be done, but one which had the courage, the determination, and the commitment to see it done, and saw it done. We must leave this country a great nation. And I know God loves this nation. And I know Kenya has a place in God's heart to lead Africa out of this nonsense. That's what we must do now.
And the moment is now.
And the moment is now.
And the window will close.
It closes. God gets annoyed. You keep on asking for Barabbas. Give us Barabbas. Give us Barabbas.
Yeah. Mwizi wetu.
Mwizi wetu.
Shenzi.
Ushenzi.
Just, who's this calling me now? Don't they have a TV?
Tell them to watch the TV. Thanks, Jeff.
As always, my brother.
Yep.
Thank you.
Asante.
Good luck.
Asante.
Keep doing what you do.
No, I'll keep doing
Keep doing what you do.
Sometimes it's difficult.
I hear you.
You get resistance.
Yes.
But God works with me.
And tomorrow morning, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
Keep walking.
We'll keep walking.
Good man.
Asante.
Njiru, folks, when he shows up with his Uungwana-ness, I tell you, he calls out the Shenzis and their Ushenziness. That's all we need to think. Take a step back. Kenya, after all, is more important than any one of us. Country first, everything else second. I'll end with that quote I started with from the top of the show, by the way.
Yeah.
It was 53 years since JFK was assassinated.
Yes,
Yesterday.
yesterday,
November 22nd,
Yep.
1963.
63, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And those words that he said, powerful words.
Yeah.
Ask not what your country can
do for you, but what you can do for your country.
He didn't say America. He didn't say no.
What you can do for your country. And that's why, by the way, I'm saying, let's encourage the president to call us out. When akishindwa na hawa, tweet it.
Boom.
And we will clean it.
We'll clean it up.
We'll clean it up.
Clean it up.
Yes. We want to get this country to a level where when somebody tells you shame on you, you want to hide. These days you tell somebody shame on you, especially the young guys, they ask you, utadu.
Utadu?
Yeah.
Utadu what?
When we were growing up and my mother said shame on you, whoa, I felt like, I would want the ground to open, I enter. Because then shame had a place.
These days?
A leader is standing there with a Pierre Cardin suit, talking nonsense, without shame. Ushenzi. Ushenzi.
Keep tweeting at Uungwana Kenya, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag. What a show. Hashtag is moral dilemma. Here we go. Any tweets, any last minute tweets, Action, any? Powered by LG Signature OLED 4K tweets. Before I read that last tweet, oh, there we go. Here we go, okay, all right. Joshua Njenga, you say there is no moral dilemma. We are just copying our national leaders. If they steal, why not us? Keep letting Manuela, you say, no matter what situation corruption is in Kenya, I am optimistic that it will end one day. Thank you so much, folks. Like I said, keep tweeting at Uungwana Kenya, at Koinange Jeff, hashtag moral dilemma. Tomorrow night, you know, if it's Thursday, it's all about inspiration.
I like that.
Is that another nice tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Such,
Hold on.
Such is a conversation that
Yep.
makes you and I realize we are not victims, but part of the problem. Change the man in the mirror, moral dilemma. CK Mwaniki, I like that. The man in the mirror.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Man in the mirror.
Man in the miror.
Nice,
Asante.
CK. Thank you. Tomorrow night on Inspiration Thursday, you've heard of this amazing, incredible gospel artist from Nigeria. That's right, Sinach. Sinach just landed in Kenya, literally moments ago. She's going to be here on Inspiration Thursday. We're going to be singing gospel songs. She has a huge concert at Sitam Karen on the weekend. It's going to be right here tomorrow night to inspire you, me, and everyone out there. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
You know her?
No.
Sinach?
No.
Okay,
no.
I see. All right.
Yeah,
It's okay.
but I can find out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Google is your friend.
I'll Google it. I'll Google it. George Bush's Google it.
Thanks so much for watching and being a part of Jeff Koinange Live. This is a great honor to have you, Ken.
Thank you, Jeff.
And,
I'm honored.
you know,
yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, we keep
The
moving on.
show must go on.
Must go on.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
Uungwana must go on.
And no shenziness.
No shenziness.
Thanks so much for watching. Good night. Good luck. And God bless.
Asante.
Thank you, sir.